The first thing I want to ask you when I saw the movie and everything, why arm wrestling? How did you pick arm wrestling?
Well, arm wrestling kind of picked me. It was a natural extension of the script, and I thought it was a real blue-collar sport, a sport that hadn't been seen by many people, and easily identify as a symbol for what I was trying to do. You know, Link is fighting for his son, he's trying to win, and I didn't want to get brutal, I didn't want to get into a football game or a soccer game, and I thought arm wrestling was perfect vehicle.
How do you train for something like that? You know, you saw the scenes in the truck, et cetera, et cetera.
Right,
How did you train off the set?
Well, it's difficult because it's all pulling. It's a lot of tension. We had air compressors that push against your arm that come out of the table. You strap yourself to weights and it tries to pull your arm back and you're constantly fighting with it. You lock up with another guy and what is it? It's just constant tension and pressure. It never lets up, ever. I mean, you go, why? And you keep looking at your arm. It's totally different than any other kind of training.
Now, did you get into it? I mean, I know obviously your character got into it, but did you personally get into arm wrestling? Did you get into the intensity of it, the fighting, all those kind of nuances?
I can't believe, yes. I have to have an operation on my wrist, actually, after Rambo, because I snapped a tendon here. Because you get into it, and if you don't control yourself, in other words, sometimes your ambitions exceed the strength of your arms, so you go, oh, and you go, my God. And that's what happens. So you can pull too hard. And that's what happens in the sport. There's quite a few injuries in amateurs. You really got to know what you're doing.
Okay, I'd like to talk a bit about your past projects, if that's all right. Now, Rocky won the Best Picture Oscar in '76, was it? '75? Right. Well, how did that affect you from then on? Did winning an Oscar change your life, as they say?
A little bit, because now it's like, let's see what he can do after this, and it put my head above the crowd, so it made me kind of like a live target. So a couple of films that came after that were pretty well savaged by the reviewers, like Fist and Paradise Alley. So it became all uphill from that point. I thought it'd be downhill, be easier. It was much more difficult after Rocky 1 to keep going, because it's like, where do you go from there?
Now, rumor has it there's another installment in the Rocky series.
Oh, I hope so. I'd like to keep going so like we get into double digits, you know. But yes, I think there could be another one. I'm working on it. It's a tough one, because after the Soviet, that to me was like right on. I don't know what I can do after that, you know, fight an alien or something, but it's really limited.
What about the Rambo character? Is there going to be a continuation of that series?
Oh, sure. I'm doing Rambo 3 next. And after that, I want to do something along the science fiction vein. And, you know, try to arm wrestle in space or something.
Now, how do you come up with these ideas? You're a writer, everyone knows. How do you write?
Well, I try to find something that really touches a nerve in all of us. I mean, and I don't think it's male, female. It's just that human beings have a certain desire to compete and succeed, but they don't want it to come too easy. They like to see their heroes suffer a little bit. They like to see whoever it is really dragged through the alleys of degradation and then finally, you know, surmount all these odds. So I just try to find basically a nice arena for all this. And what kind of character, and then you put it all together, because basically the themes are very similar. And I try to keep them similar. I don't want to all of a sudden do things that are so off the wall. I'm not into that. Other actors are into that, but I'm not into that.
So it doesn't bother you when, say, the critics say this character is just like this character?
No, it's like me, you know, I don't, it's like me criticizing their work. They have their way of doing things, I have my way of doing things. I'm in this to do a certain kind of performance, and that's my craft. And that they think I should do something different. I did it one time, and I'll never do it again. When I said, okay, you want something different? I'll do Rhinestone. How about going from Rambo to singing jingles? All right, you want to get from killing people with a machine gun to sitting there like a hillbilly with a guitar on a pig farm. I'll give you stretch. And that didn't work either, so I said, you know what? I'll just take my little machine gun and go my merry way.
Do you ever want to play the bad guy?
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Well, you know, a lot of the characters I played, they all start out as bad guys. Rocky was terrible. He was an arm breaker. He was a loan shark collector in Rocky 1. People forget that. He was a bad boy. To start Rambo, bad news. And Cobra, you know, all these fellows have checkered past. They're not angels. And I think people like to see redemption. I like to see, go, oh yeah, second chance in life. That's what it's all about, is the second chance.
All right.
First time's easy, you know. It's like getting married. Everyone should do it twice.
Well, thank you very much.
You bet.